This is the Throttle Out Show, presented by Vixen Industries, the only show where monster truck drivers and mechanics come together to present what's happening in the monster truck community. It's the ultimate combination of torque, horsepower, and trash talk. And now for your hosts. First, straight out of the heart of Detroit Rock City, it's Kid Rock's neighbor and former driver of the BKT ride truck. It's Austin Spence. And the duo deep in the heart of Texas, it's the show owner and daughter of a man who conquered the industry for over 20 years. It's Harley Johnson, along with everyone's favorite Bryce Kenny lookalike, Austin Tweedy. So go ahead, fuel up, strap in, and remember, when in doubt, throttle out.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Wheels Up Wednesday with us here on the Throttle Out Show. My name is Austin, and welcome. And I'm going to bring in our co-host, Miss Harley Johnson, soon to be Tweety, again by herself in the studio. Tweety off on some other job, God only knows where, doing another job in another hotel. It's like you're traveling again, buddy. How's it going?
You know something? It's like you said, I'm back on the road life. I'm back to being in hotel rooms, the free breakfasts. I'm absolutely loving it again. It's nice to get out and travel a little bit. I'm in the hometown of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Deathly afraid any minute he's going to be busting through my window here and giving me a Stone Cold Stunner right here in the hotel room. So just help me keep a lookout tonight, y'all.
Hell yeah. And Harley, I bet you're enjoying the peace and quiet over there at the back of the apartment. I
am. I'm getting to spend some quality time with my dog, who's attached to me more than ever now that Austin's not here. So you have some business to take care of when you get back, Austin. You need to take care of your dog.
You're in trouble. Well, as you guys can tell, we don't exactly have a guest this evening. So there's no secret truck behind me, just kind of the image we threw up.
I've got to apologize for that, first of all.
Yes, you do.
I had a guest lined up. He was legit coming on. I even got it confirmed last night. The guest is a he. Yes, he was coming on. And then something happened today. Not an emergency. Not like everything's okay, but just stuff didn't go through. So it's all good. We'll catch him on the flip side, and he'll be back on here. But tonight, it's all about us tonight. Hey, Cody Spencer, screw you, man.
Hey, man, leave Mr. Clean alone. It's one thing if it's coming from us, but it's another coming from a Seth Rogen lookalike. But anyway, let's.
Oh man, that was a good one.
All right. Well, Tweety, I'm glad you're repping more Throttle Out more than anyone here. Both repping the hat and the beautiful shirt, my guy. I mean, it looks flawless.
This is my favorite shirt of the ones that you have made for us thus far, my man. The navy blue, the gold right here, just so you know, stuff coming very, very soon. We're working very closely on a hat deal right now. Once that's through, we're going to have an online website pulled up for y'all to support the Throttle Out Show.
We're trying, guys. We really are trying.
So so I actually got a little bit of merchandise that we were going to be posting up here soon today, and I was super excited. I got the notification while I was at work. It's like, hey, your package has been delivered. I've been waiting for like a week and a half for it to come in. I was like, yes, thank God. Like, this was a pretty decent sized purchase. I ordered quite a bit of them, and then I see the package and I see how small it is. I'm like, oh no. This can't be good. And it's mainly my fault. Guys, I guess I don't really know how to read a tape measure all that well, because I looked at the dimensions like, oh yeah, that's about that big. I could make that work. And then I get it in. I'm like, oh, that is not the size. Anyway, so you guys know our shield that we have posted everywhere that says "Remember when in doubt, throttle out." Well, I went ahead, got a hold of the guys at Sticker App, and I had 100 of these made, and well. They are not that big.
Those are stickers we used to put on our notebooks at school, man.
You could put that on the back of a phone. I would totally do that.
I need to see if I could get this size as a scratch and sniff and have like race fuel or something like that.
Oh, dude, that is a golden idea.
That would be cool.
Yep, stamp, trademark, Throttle Out. It's all us. Anyway, and then another thing, obviously you guys can see the logo behind us, which, something we just kind of put together. It was Tweety's idea. I was the one that put it together. But yeah, so what we're going to do with these stickers is anytime someone makes a purchase, when we finally do get a website up, we will be throwing in these little guys just like as a little extra thank you to supporting us here on the Throttle Out Show. So don't sleep on us. We are working really hard to get everything kind of put together and going. It's just things are a little bit rough, right, Tweety? I mean, with our experience with some personal like dealers and trying to get certain stuff so we can make stuff. It's been an absolute hassle.
Yes, and just so everybody knows, those stickers, like he said, will come with every purchase. You can purchase those separately for $100 a sticker, and they will go to feed proceeds such as starving children or my children, as I'd like to say.
You have, first of all, he has one child.
You have starving children? You have
Harley.
more than one child that I don't know about?
It's literally just to fuel Tweety's Dr. Pepper addiction. That's all it's for. But anyway, no,
hey,
we're not doing $100 a sticker.
I've chilled out this week. I really have.
You have. I'm slightly proud of you, but I know as soon as you get back here, you're gonna be right back. You're gonna be right back to drinking all the Dr. Pepper this weekend.
Oh my gosh, poor Tweety. So I guess, guys, we got a couple topics to go over tonight. Kind of get a little bit of insight from everybody. One of the things that's been huge, everyone's been talking about it all week, is Excaliber is coming back. That truck has such a rich history from, as you can see, Harley putting up all the image, running back in the old TNT, the Mud and Monster series. I mean, this truck has such a rich history. And then when Charlie Pauken kind of took over going into the Thunder Nationals, was a reigning Thunder Nationals champion for, I believe, 3 years in a row. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I don't have the listing with me at the moment, but I believe it was from 93, 94, and 95 was when Excaliber was the Thunder Nationals champion. And now Chucky Falcon obviously being one of the drivers. Hey, I was at that show. That's Pontiac Silverdome 2010. Anyway, Charlie, I guess, is not going to be coming back to run in Feld and Monster Jam because from the sounds of it, he is going to be hopping behind the wheel of the brand new Excaliber truck with what team, guys?
The team Tomfoolery down there in Deltona, Florida.
We know a thing or two about them, don't we?
Yeah, we know those guys.
Yeah.
I cannot do the I'm looking at the chat right now, and John, I cannot do the Chucky dance. Listen, it's not exactly a Chucky dance, more of the truffle shuffle. If anyone's ever seen the Zoomies, there's just a whole lot moving around if I try that.
Oh, it looks like we got the Excaliber crews watching.
Hey, yo, how's it going, man? Dude, they're gonna have a 4-truck lineup, guys. I mean, you've got Recreation, that really cool square body camper combo, which you thought Kraken was a pain in the ass to fix after every single show. I can't imagine what that truck's going to be like.
Now, I will say this. If the Excaliber crew is really watching, I have a question for y'all. Are y'all going to put Recreation to the side and work on Excaliber strictly now? Or are you going to try and do both at the same time? That's the question I have for y'all.
Guys, it's Yoho. He could do literally like 4 trucks at a time. He's proven this to us at the Feld shop.
Hey, Yoho just needs permission, baby, and he can do whatever he sets his mind to.
No, you sure about that? No offense, Yoho. Anyway, but no, the truck looks absolutely gorgeous. I honestly cannot wait to see when it gets debuted. Just seeing, some of these old names kind of coming back, and not to mention Chucky's been posting about, the old Excaliber chassis that they're slowly but surely restoring. I don't know if it's for car crushes or if they're actually going to start bringing it to the Monster Truck Hall of Fame.
There it is. Yeah, baby.
Such rich history. So, mind you, back in the day, this whole setup for cradles and chassis were such, I don't know, what's the best word to describe this, Tweety? It's so weird. Just looking at this, ahead of its time, because kind of like the trucks we have nowadays, where we kind of have a cutout section in the center of the chassis to where we can easily get in and out for the torque converter, transmission, gear oil, transfer case, and all that, the whole nine. These were kind of a set in that direction, but it looked like there's 2 frames almost stacked on top of one another in order to access everything inside those trucks.
Now, let me tell you something about Chucky Falcon. Chucky Falcon, who most Monster Jam fans know just as a crazy gravedigger, monster mutt driver. A lot of people may or may not know Chucky Falcon is a very much innovator of the sport of monster trucks. And I'll never forget being in Glendale, Arizona, and standing next to him. It was during morning media. Me, Dan Fiegel, Red, we all got there like 5 a.m. for morning media. Chucky was there, Todd was there, and I believe maybe Bree Mahone was there. Those trucks had to be ready for morning media. And that was when we switched over to EFI, and then one of the trucks was having issues with EFI. So somebody was like, well, take the computer, hook the computer up to it. And he was just beside himself. He's like, I never thought I would see the day that a computer or that a monster truck would need a USB port to be able to work on a monster truck. You know, he's come a long way, been with the sport just as the trucks have evolved, and he's been a huge part of all that, along with Pablo Huffaker and a lot of other guys in the industry.
Is there random? I think that's a question for you down there, Tweety. Why is there a random Homer Simpson in the background?
I've been working on my Homer Simpson bod lately. Y'all can't see me right now because I'm sitting down, so I'm channeling my inner Homer Simpson tonight, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, I've been rocking the comic book guy look for a long time now, so come at me.
Well, just so everybody knows, Harley and I, when we lived in Orlando working for the PAGs, we had passes to Universal Studios, so we were there almost every weekend eating those big pink donuts you see Homer Simpson eating. So we are huge Simpson fans.
We are.
Harley, I sense that just kind of like, yeah, we are. It sounds like you got sucked into the
I definitely
got a little bit.
The Simpsons world.
Do you guys miss being in Florida?
I
going
one
to
episode of The Simpsons until Austin made me, so I'm like, oh, okay, I'll watch it.
Now, Austin, what did you just say? You were going to ask us a question about Florida.
I was just wondering, because you guys are both kind of amusement park junkies, and it seemed like almost every other post you guys would post together, you guys were always at either Universal Studios or Disney. So I was just curious, like, do you guys miss it at all, like going to Florida, or is there stuff in Texas that you guys could actually go to as well? Probably
I'll let
not.
her answer that. You should answer that.
I am definitely a theme park junkie, so I definitely am missing my theme park fix right now. The closest one to us is Six Flags over Texas in Arlington, but that's like over an hour away, and I've never been, so I don't know if it's good or not. But one of these days, we're going to get around to going.
I'm trying to ignore chat right now, but we got two people. I don't know which Austin they're gaining up on. Yeah, I
don't know which Austin. Maybe both of you. Let's just do both of you.
No.
If Austin dance, I'll answer the question. So probably Austin
the chicken dance.
Look, I would love to do the chicken dance, but I don't know how. So Austin, could you please sample the chicken dance?
I got no clue. I've never heard of
dance. It's not a
the
chicken
Chucky dance.
Chucky
Yeah.
dance. People want to see it.
Come on,
hey,
Spence.
No.
Oh, they want both of you to do it. You both got to do it.
John. Man.
Guys,
that's it. No shirt for you.
I would be more than happy to do the Chucky dance, but since this is like a Zoom call, I'm not wearing any pants right now, so y'all don't want me to get up.
Thank you for being very honest with us.
He's lying. I can't do it. Knowing my luck, I'll stand on top of this rolling chair and attempt it and bite it. My head will hit here, snap my neck, and I'll be paralyzed from the waist down, and everyone will feel sad. I'm just kidding. No, I am not doing the Chucky dance. I already embarrassed myself enough as it is. So yeah.
Maybe when we're all together at a show and there's enough room.
With Chucky. We'll do it with Chucky.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
With Chucky. Anyway, so kind of going back on amusement parks a little bit, one of the big things that Monster Jam did before the whole world essentially shut down and everything's opening back up again, which is kind of going back to my train of thought, is the whole Cedar Fair project that Monster Jam kind of did. We know BJ had a huge part in putting those ride trucks together. Obviously, they had a lot of hiccups kind of going into their first couple of venues, but do you guys think that the whole Monster Jam Thunder Alley experience might come back? Or do you think it's kind of done and over with?
Well, let me ask you
about this like the other day.
I thought that was for like a limited time only thing anyways. Is that not true?
From what I was told, and we all know how the rumor mill was working at Feld. One person says this and it goes through like 8 to 12 to 20 to 30 to 100 people, and stories are all over the damn place. Like, it wasn't like I heard that we were eventually going to do something with dinosaurs, and then it wasn't until like 3 or 4 months later that it was out there about the whole Jurassic World Live. So who knows? But from what I understood, it was like a 3 or 5 year contract. And if the whole Cedar Fair didn't want to re-sign, basically Feld would just keep the ride trucks and reuse them. So that was just,
I thought that they went to theme parks that were only open like seasonally. So maybe that's
possibly what it
where
was.
you're getting that from. Like, they're not open all year round, so they're.
I don't know. See, I always thought that like a monster ride truck type thing, or at least a monster truck roller coaster, definitely belongs in a bigger theme park, such as Universal or Disney, and you know damn well that's what Monster Jam Field Entertainment was targeting, and they kind of got off, to a decent
At some
start.
point, yeah, they were targeting that. But
yeah, and so I think they'll probably make another big run back at it, because I do believe that stint was successful whenever it was around. So who knows? We'll see.
Honestly, one thing I think Monster Jam could absolutely do to add kind of a little bit more excitement to it, because everyone's like, oh, you get to ride around on a monster truck, but what if they did actually kind of like what Disney does, where they have these little shows and exhibitions at certain times at an amusement park? Maybe trailer up 1 to 2 actual race trucks and put on a mini show exhibition, just like a little extra intuitive to come check out Monster Jam Thunder Alley. They've got the trucks to do it. We all know that. So just a little bit of excitement. Maybe old Ty England can work on his little nose wheelies every now and then. Anyway.
I think they should get the ride trucks and race each other.
That'd be the slowest race I've ever seen, especially if you put BKT in the mix. You might as well just give her a 15 to 30 second head start. That is not a fair lineup. So anyway, let's see. We've talked about amusement parks. We talked about the brand new Excaliber truck coming up this weekend. Speaking of legendary names, guys, the opening to the International Monster Truck Hall of Fame, the official opening of the building, is this weekend in Butler, Indiana.
That's right, baby. Boy, what just a big weekend for monster trucks with the Hall of Fame actually opening up this go around. We've talked with a Hall of Famer since then, and Austin, I'm sure you're probably going to try and catch up with Gene Patterson this weekend, I'm sure.
Dude, yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. I've heard a lot of things, like they're really the Bigfoot camp. Apparently, again, the old rumor mill, we know how big it is here in the monster truck industry. They're trying to get old Bigfoot 8 ready to go and bring it over to the International Monster Truck Hall of Fame for its debut. But that's also not the only Bigfoot being restored. I believe, what is it, number 4 or number 8 are also in the process of being restored. Obviously, you got old number 5. And I believe they're also going to be bringing over some more modern Bigfoots over, because they're also, not only are they going to have old school car crushes like they did back in the old days. I don't know what trucks are going to crush cars, but some of them from the museum. But they're also going to have modern truck freestyle. Now, last time I was there during just the truck parade, as kind of like the big welcoming in Butler to the monster truck family coming over to the new building, the new Reptoid that was sitting on the former Samson chassis. And that truck is mean and ready to go. So I'm hoping I'll finally be able to check out that truck and actually be able to get in action. But I also really want to see what other modern trucks might also be over there to kind of take the field and show everyone in Butler, Indiana, what the monster truck industry is all about.
I'd love to be able to make it up there with y'all, man. That just sounds like a great time. But who knows what they're going to do with their car crush. I doubt there's going to be any backflips, Austin.
I mean, I might off of a ride truck. I'm just kidding. Do not hold me to that chat. No. Someone will get hurt. But anyway, if by chance you guys are interested in contributing and helping out to the history and preserving the history of the Monster Truck Museum, if you go to monstermuseum.org, you can actually sign up for the newsletter. I actually did. And for whatever reason, I actually ended up in the newsletter in the very back. Yeah, didn't exactly catch my good side, but if you see here in picture number 22, that is my backside against old, I think it's Skeletor or Blue Skeleton or something like that. The funny thing is my wife is standing right in front of me, and unless I told you that, you wouldn't have known.
Look at that. Throttle Out makes the Monster Truck Hall of Fame magazine. I love it.
Nice.
Dude, we're making moves, man. We're making moves. We're going to get there one day. Speaking of other appearances, this kind of just started out as just a random hobby / I've always been into die-cast monster trucks. I've always loved the Hot Wheels ever since I was a little kid. I started collecting way back when I was, year 2000. So I was like 5 or 6 years old. And I collected ever since, kind of dropped off of it going into high school because, puberty, you have to grow up and blah, blah, blah. Well, still plays with monster trucks. Clearly, that didn't really phase out at all. So this gentleman by the name of Stephen Jones started this thing on YouTube called Monster Truck Attitude. And guys, it is a hook to watch every single time. It's just racing. It's diecast, downhill, Hot Wheels, Spin Master racing. And the way this guy presents the events is so fun and they're like 10-15 minute long videos. I mean, it's a 16 truck lineup, but it's just racing and that's it. And he goes so in depth that if a truck rolls over, he'll actually cut the scene, smash the body up, and make it look like the truck actually had damage, and then like tow it off to the pits. Like he's that intuitive with it. Well, if you go on a Monster Truck Attitudes Facebook page and you wait for registrations, you might actually get involved in the series. And I actually did. By some twist of fate, I got the one truck I actually was hoping I didn't get. I have, for this season in May, I am actually piloting the Gravedigger truck.
Wait, do you not get to pick what truck you are?
It is all random.
Oh, it's all random.
Unless you are a former champion, like if a certain truck has won a point series, if you won one of the main events that he puts on every month, unless you are a champion, you get put in whatever truck he decides to put you in. So to contribute to Stephen Jones and everything he's doing on Monster Truck Attitude, I highly encourage everybody who hasn't checked him out to check him out. I actually forked him over a little bit of money, and I actually even have one of his own shirts, the Diecast Monster Truck Racing series on YouTube with the NWO kind of spoofed logo, Monster Truck Attitude. Super cool. If you guys want to support him, seriously, highly go check him out. And
as you should, because the best part about his deal is, like Austin was saying, it's just like, what'd you say, 16 trucks that race each week? 16
trucks, and it's always Thursday Night Thunder. So Thursday evening, I can't remember the exact time. I think it's like 7:30 Eastern. He always posts a new episode, and it's a month-long season. So 4 events in a season, and last event, which was our second event, I got into the round 2, and that's about as far as I gotten. I am not doing good so far.
That guy calls the races like Monster Truck races should be called. You know, like we like to pick on Monster Jam because it's just all like a big show now and they don't want it to be called a show, but that's exactly what it is. Let's be honest. And this guy calls the Monster Truck event just like races should be called. You know, he shows like behind the scenes, little tiny crew guys working on the trucks and getting the trucks back together or putting trucks back on the trailers. That's such an old school thing to do. That's what truck shows back in the 80s and 90s used to be like, oh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put him on the trailer first round. And he does exactly just that. So kudos to that guy for putting on one heck of a show with freaking toy monster trucks. Never in a million years would anybody else in the world would have thought of that. And that guy is perfecting it. So make sure y'all check that out.
What about you, Harley? Do you still like toy monster trucks, or is Austin the only one that has them?
Yeah, let's she texted me yesterday like, hey, I'm at Target. I'm checking out the new Spin Master monster truck.
Yes.
My new thing now is to like go to Walmart after work, because it's like where I work is in the parking lot of Walmart. So I'm like, oh, I'll just go by, see what they have. And then I go to Target because I'm like, I'm looking for these new Spin Masters, and all I'm getting is like the same old ones I've already seen over and over again.
Yeah, hey, I tell you, Austin,
my obsession is starting again, looking for like hard to find toys.
You got a good girl when she's like, hey, I'm going to Target, just to check out the new monster trucks. It's not to buy clothes or spend money on whatever. No, she's going to go check out the new trucks.
See, I get in trouble. I feel like my wife doesn't really like whenever we go grocery shopping or anything, because she knows like as soon as we enter in the store, I'm gone. Like I just leave. Like I know she's gonna choose whatever she wants out of the grocery aisle. Like we're gonna eat this, we're gonna have this. I'm like, okay, whatever, bye. Like let me know when you need the card. And I just go straight to the toy section. It's always funny because I always go to the Hot Wheels aisle, which is where all the monster truck stuff is. And there's always like a family there, like with their little kids, and they're excited. And I'm just kind of waiting for them to finish. And I always end up getting this weird side eye from one of the parents, like, what, where's your kid? What are you doing here? And I'm like, listen, I know it's sad and pathetic, but can you please hurry up? I'm trying to find the newest Gravedigger, okay? Let's go.
So Harley's mom just commented and said she has hundreds of them that she played with. And I guess, so the most recent purchase that Harley made was she bought 2 Krakens, okay? One to go in our trophy case, which y'all have seen on some of our episodes, and the other one for us to play with.
Yep.
And
hey, speaking of Steve Jones and Monster Truck Attitude, he's actually in the chat. What's up, man?
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. We love your show.
We love it. I cannot wait to see. I'm praying that Gravedigger might come out a little bit better. I have a feeling I'm gonna wreck tomorrow, guys. I'm gonna be completely honest. I have a feeling this guy has got like almost an entire storage unit full of just extra Gravedigger trucks, just because it's Gravedigger. But
no, hey, this is what I love about this guy commenting And like with our show, with Cheats Show, I love that we are all in this monster truck community together, supporting each other, building each other up. That's why I love our community. We're all so tight knit, so close to each other. I believe that is one of the strongest qualities of the monster truck community.
He commented boxes.
Oh my gosh.
Is it like the big tote boxes or like the little small boxes?
He gets probably a shipment straight from Spin Master.
Yeah.
Like he just has like some kind of a deal. It's like, all right, new megs, go destroy him. Like he is like Spin Master's crash test guy.
No,
so it's
what
like,
he
all right.
has is a Spin Master line of credit, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Man, that's so awesome. But yeah, like it's so cool because some of these guys that are like hardcore into his league, like they're like building teams and alliances and stuff. And I'm like, I am way out of my league. Like I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just like, I'm trying to get you guys involved, but we're in different time zones. So it's like when I could finally register, you guys are either like still busy with something. So
By the
I'm a
time
lone
I went
wolf.
on to comment my name, there was already like 30 comments, and it was like 2 minutes past when it opened up, and I'm like, okay, there was like no chance for me to get in there.
No, Steve, if you're listening, my man, we want to do something together that kind of gets like us involved, like as a show, whether that's putting up a banner on your track or something like that. We want to do something special like that.
I have some tiny stickers I could throw your way.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, it all works out. I mean, what else could he ask for? There are no complete sponsors. It's all me. I buy my trucks off the shelf just like everyone else. Holy crap, dude. That's awesome.
Send that guy some stickers so we can put it on our show.
Yeah, just to give you a little well, shoot. I got a green truck here and it's just going to...
That ain't going to work.
Yeah,
It's not gonna work.
Stand by. All right, this one is not going anywhere because I actually paid like $30 for this one on eBay. But yeah, I actually have a custom Venom truck.
That is slick.
And that's how big the stickers are. So I don't know if that's about how big your... So it's pretty close. Oh, man. Well, speaking of mini trucks, we talked about this briefly before the show started. But guys, I have this new almost unhealthy obsession with this new line of toys that Spin Master has came out with. And I mean unhealthy in like the worst way because...
What is it?
So so you know how people like when they get on the internet and they're shopping around and they maybe have a couple of drinks and next thing you know it's like, oh, I wasn't expecting anything to come in the mail. Well, I wasn't drinking. Apparently when I'm really tired and I'm looking around on eBay for stuff, I impulsively buy stuff and then the next couple of days I just completely forget about it. So I bought the entire series 2 of the new Monster Jam minis. And I freaking love them. Like these things are so adorable.
Not the entire series.
All of series 2, so 12 trucks.
Oh my god.
My wife loves me so much, but yeah, they're that big.
So those are like they used to make some Bigfoot and Snakebite ones back in the day. Do you know what
Matchbox? Yeah, the old Matchboxes.
Yeah, I used to have, I'm sure you can imagine. You used to have a bunch of those.
Dude, I've never owned a Matchbox anything in my entire life because every time I go on eBay to look and find like I think they had like Mad Dog Clydesdale, Wild Hair, obviously Micro Machines truck, and they're just getting up there in costability and everything, so they're just so expensive. So seeing that Monster Jam kind of was like, all right, we're gonna build these, and the detail is so good. Well, sweetie, this might hurt your feelings a little bit. So again, I apologize ahead of time.
Come back to the microphone. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Sorry. Anyway, Hot Wheels sort of did something very similar with this before Monster Jam jumped on. And I'm going to be completely honest. Monster Jam made the right move of jumping from Mattel and Hot Wheels over to Spin Master because here is the Bigfoot version of these miniature trucks. It's that bad. Like it's just so highly off the frame. Like it just doesn't look that great. And then you've got
put up like a poll on your Instagram, like comparing.
I did. Yeah.
I remember that.
I completely forgot about that. Thank you for bringing up that sad memory. Anyway, yeah, just a grown man playing with his monster trucks. I'm like, what do you guys think? And everyone's just like, are you serious? I'm like, well, kind of, you know. So yeah, I mean, I have an idea. I have no idea why. So man, I'm just all about shooting myself in the foot tonight, guys. So when I was living in Florida, and I think I told Tweety about this, I think he gave me like this weird side-eye look, and I just never brought it up ever again. But my wife good friend of hers introduced me to Dungeons and Dragons. the role-playing RPG game, and at first I was like, oh, this is stupid, like I'm not into fantasy, I'm not into this, I'm not into that, yada yada yada. Well, long story short, I made a character who was a half-orc barbarian. His name was Your Mug Stank.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so getting into this game and like the, just kind of learning more about like RPGs and tabletop board games, because I always grew up with like video games, in Nintendo 64, PlayStation 2, and I always enjoyed it. But one of the things that we never really got, especially from Monster Truck games, was a story. There was never really a good story mode that Monster Jam would put out. It's just like, hey, congrats, you're now part of Monster Jam. Here's a truck. Hey, this is how you do a wheelie. This is a gas pedal. This is the accelerate. Awesome. Good luck next season. And that's it. That's the extent of what you get. You go to the World Finals, you win the trophy, and then there's no replayability in the game whatsoever. While if you play games like NASCAR or anything like that, there's some kind of a stat or whatever you could build up in order to get there. So me sitting here being a huge Monster Truck nerd, as we all know, I was trying to think of a way to try and combine the two as like a cool interactive tabletop version of Monster Trucks with kind of like a role play, kind of create your own career mode in the industry on a board game. So long story short, I'm slowly but surely trying to come up with a board game, and these are essentially the game pieces. So we'll see how that works out.
First of all, you have me hooked at Monster Truck, so at least because I'll play.
Those are the only 2 words you had to say was Monster Trucks.
I had a feeling. Oh, Tweety. You're simple, and I love that about you. But anyway.
I'll be
it's a Monster Jam Monopoly game.
Remember
that's a fun one, and I hate Monopoly. So
oh my gosh. Have you guys ever had fights over playing Monopoly before?
Just Monster Jam Monopoly, yes.
That's the only Monopoly we've played.
I've actually never owned Monster Jam Monopoly. I imagine instead of it being places, you own trucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, so let me guess. Tweety never buys Gravedigger.
Why would I want that trash?
And that one's the most expensive one, of course.
Oh, so it's like Parkway Drive or whatever. Of course, go friggin' figure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So speaking of Hot Wheels, I kind of feel bad that we've been trashing on them a little bit. So we're gonna trash on them a little bit more.
Like, why? Why are we gonna trash?
A little bit more.
Well, guys, out of all the tours that we know is going on in the monster truck industry that have been thriving, obviously Monster Jam has been kind of trying to keep their head above water, with the whole COVID regulations and everything. And they're obviously slowly starting to get back. Independents have obviously just skyrocketed and taken off. You got Renegade, you got Monster Trucks with a Z, you got No Limits, you've got, Monster Truck Throwdown now starting their season. So there was also another tour that recently started that was arenas, and we don't even know what's going on. And that's Hot Wheels Monster Truck Live. Are they just done? Like, does anybody know anything about that tour, if they're even coming back? Because for the first time in a while, for those of you that don't know, Derek Anson, the driver and owner of Heavy Hitter, and I believe it is called Basher, those trucks were a part of that tour as the aliases of Demolition Derby and V8 Bomber. Well, recently, someone sent me a picture that Heavy Hitter's now back, and Bigfoot's obviously doing other things. So is Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live just done? Is it now just a drive-through experience? Are they ever going to actually have shows? I was just
going to say, that's what they have been up to lately, but I don't know what they're doing moving forward. If you go to their website, they still have tickets on sale for like last year. So they've not even touched their website. I don't know if they even own that sucker anymore. I don't know if they've sold out. And here's a fun fact for you. I heard while Monster Jam was hanging low, they weren't doing anything, I heard that Mattel was going to buy Monster Jam. That was a big rumor going around for a little while. But now we don't even see Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live roll around. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you go to the website now, they have 3 shows at the end of October.
Oh, okay. That is new news as of right now. I didn't even know that.
So what are the current events? Because I'm trying to find, I am trying my best to try and find it. I'm actually on it right now.
There's Louisville, Kentucky, Charlottesville, and Norfolk, Virginia.
And that's this year, 2021.
2021. They were rescheduled from around this time last year.
Okay. That is
it's been
big
over
news.
a
I didn't
year
know that.
We've had any shows. More than a year.
It says here that there's still 2 postponed events as well on their website. So there's Fort Worth, Texas at the Dickies Arena. I don't know how far away that is for you guys. And then the other one is State College, Pennsylvania at the Bryce Jordan Center. So hopefully those will come back, because I don't know about you guys, but I love the Hot Wheels tour, mainly because I love old school car crushing. I mean, honestly, that's how monster trucks kind of started out, even though a lot of things nowadays, like, well, we like the poppers, we like the wheelies, we like the arena backflips, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, monster truck started out as an oversized pickup truck that crushed cars. And it's a kind of a nice refresher to go back to that.
Yeah, it's about time. The sport needs it. You know, we talked about that for a little while on the Throttle Out show, that Monster Jam needs to get back to crushing cars. And what do you know? They got back to crushing cars. Now, I'm not saying that's because of us, but y'all know, Monster Jam even knows we got to get back to crushing some cars.
Mm-hmm.
There's new trucks being made for it, according to this fan's comment, Austin.
There's new trucks. Yes. So, there's 2. Hold on. I actually have the die cast of one of them. Give me 1 sec.
I hope it's the Sriracha Hot Sauce one.
Dude, me too.
Oh.
I wish it would be, because for a long time I had a small obsession with the actual pickup trucks of the Hot Wheels, and they for whatever reason I was like, screw it, I'm gonna make them in Beam and G. So the Sriracha Hot Sauce truck, if anyone here plays Beam and G Drive, if you go to the Ace Spence pack, it's on there. Have fun, tear it up, whatever. There's a couple Hot Wheels trucks on there.
Listen to this, okay? This is another rumor, of course. Okay, this put out a long time ago. This isn't new news, but I know a lot of people who don't have, inside scoops with Monster Jam and the technicians there. I was told by a technician who no longer works there now that after Hot Wheels started their tour and they started making toy diecast monster trucks out of everything, obviously Sriracha Hot Sauce being one of them, that Monster Jam was like, we got to do something like that, because they're going to pass us up in merchandise and in toys being sold in Target and Walmart. And so now Spin Master is doing all these new things with their Monster Jam trucks as well. So that's where you're seeing all these crazy concepts for the Spin Master trucks coming from, because Hot Wheels really was taking the cake there for a little while in merchandise being sold at Walmart and Target.
You're absolutely right. I'll be completely honest. Now, here's another rumor, Tweety, because we knew this driver when we worked for, and you actually got to crew for him at your very last show as a company technician. And to my understanding, this would actually be the truck you'd be piloting. So this truck is called Race Ace. It's another kind of trophy truck. It's just kind of got the Hot Wheel symbol with 68 on the side, nothing kind of special, but we know of an old driver who used to be sponsored in Monster Jam by Monster Jam, Mr. Scott Butoh, the backflip king. And when he said that he was no longer going to be coming back to Monster Jam as a competitor, he stated in his post, it's just not the same without the flame. So with that being said, I'm sure Butoh, as we all know, he's an extremely talented guy, super awesome dude to be around and work with. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a few more years left in him and Hot Wheels going to hand him the keys to one of those trucks, 100%.
Well, there was no reason for them to even consider letting that guy go. I felt like he just got better each and every year. He just got better. And he definitely needs to be behind the seat of a truck. And Hot Wheels would be a great platform, for him to go to, get back in the seat. We obviously want to see him do the bigger stadium courses, but you need somebody that brings that level of excitement, such as Scott Butoh in the Hot Wheels Monster Truck Tour.
Exactly, because it's not just about driving skills. You got to be good on the mic, good with the fans, and Butoh he's honestly just a whole buffet. He brings all that to the table and some. Like he's been loyal with Hot Wheels since the very beginning, since when he was with, it was when there was a pickup truck, I think it was called Firestorm, and then they eventually had that weird, I want to say like Roger Dodger, I think is the name of the truck or toy that they named the last body after. And all the way up until then the whole Hot Wheels Spin Master thing just dropped. And it sucks that it was, but seeing him go from that into an El Toro Loco was kind of strange. I'm going to be completely honest. Seeing him go from an iconic sponsored truck to kind of just a base company truck that's been around for years. El Toro Loco Ice, the Blue Bowl. And
now,
of course,
you're not wrong. No, you're definitely not wrong. But I will tell you this: he made any truck he drove look awesome, though.
Yeah.
So the Toro Ice, that's why it stuck around as long as it did. Joseph Rodriguez, first of all, I want to say thank you for watching our show and supporting the Throttle Out show. And his comment is, I think the new trucks they're making are Mega Rex, Race Ace, and 5 Alarm. I've not even seen any of those trucks.
So I just showed you Race Ace. That's a little blue
That was
pickup.
Race Ace? Okay.
Yep. Mega Rex is kind of like this dinosaur head looking contraption. It's
I've seen
really
that one in stores before.
it's in stores. If you go down the Hot Wheels aisle, I guarantee you'll see it. Now, 5 Alarm is going to be kind of interesting because this is a body no one's really done before. It's a fire truck. Like it's a full-blown fire truck.
Hey, that's what that means. Okay.
So it's going to be pretty interesting. Definitely looking forward to seeing that and how that all turns out. Now, speaking of the future of the industry, this is kind of one of those things that I really didn't want to talk about. Harley, if you could you bring up that picture I recently showed you before we started our stream, my kind of little jab at exhaust systems, if you would, in the monster truck industry.
Yes.
Oh, this is a good one. Yeah.
You might have to change the format of the screen.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh crap. Well, that is my fault. I wonder, can I change my background? I'll just give me 1 second, guys.
Okay.
We are professionals here on the Throttle Out show. Please stand by.
It's a transparent picture, so there's no background.
Yeah, that was. I wonder.
Gotcha.
So it does the same thing for me. Awesome. This is going great. Okay. Anyway, so what it was supposed to be is kind of like a Mufflers versus Zoomies type deal. It's a t-shirt concept that we are currently working on. We'll post pictures of it later, probably after the show on our story, and get your guys' feedback, kind of like what we did with this logo behind me, and seeing if you guys like it or not. If that would be a possibility, we could put it on as a shirt on our future merch store, or not. So with that being said, kind of going into the future of the industry. So as we all know, monster trucks have always been big. They're loud. So you just hear them from miles away. And an exhaust system on a monster truck, as we all know, has always been Zoomies, just straight one pipe per exhaust port in the cylinder. And it's just loud and obnoxious, and we all love it. Well, with noise regulations and how everything has been going, Monster Jam obviously implemented that in order to run an event, trucks can only run a certain amount of decibels. So you had to have a muffler on the collector headers, and which is pretty much universal on every single Monster Jam fleet truck. With that being said, in other news, kind of electric vehicles are here, and I hate saying that. Tweety, this is kind of bittersweet because you and I being both loyal to the Oval, the Lightning is back, and it is not a performance truck.
No, and I'm just going to go ahead and say this. It's not a Lightning, okay? Ford, I know y'all got to play politics. You got to be nice to everybody and all that, but it's not a Lightning. What, Austin, we were talking about this earlier. What is a Lightning? What is the definition, or what was Ford Lightning back in the day?
Ford Lightning was basically Ford's attempt at muscle trucks. The first generation Lightning was a 351 V8. You know, it had a high output, cylinder heads or whatever, and then automatic trans, two-wheel drive, regular cab, short bed, and then you fast forward to the next generation, which was the 1997 to 2003 generation F-150. I like to call the bubble body style, and that was a 5.4 liter, 32 valve, supercharged V8 that would roast the tires for days.
Those trucks, Austin, would go like 200 mile an hour stock.
Oh yeah, no problem whatsoever, because most of that truck was fiberglass. I mean, those trucks to this day, they hold value because they're sought after. You know, they're bona fide race vehicles. And now the Lightning, kind of like how the Mustang was earlier, is now going electric. It is a trim level for just an all-electric pickup truck, and it's not a performance vehicle. We saw our president take a test drive in one of these trucks, and he was like, dang, that sucker's fast. But guys, I don't want to get behind that. It's like being fast is one thing, but being heard as you're going fast is another. Like, that's one thing I kind of applaud Dodge about.
We all know that they all have to compete with each other, right? So what was it around this time last year? I guess GM announced they were going to make an all-electric Hummer. Okay, yeah, another huge disappointment for Hummers because they're going to have another disappointing motor in them. You know, so now Ford is jabbing back at that with the Ford Lightning, you know, all electric. And then it was like, I think it was a few years ago now, but Ford released they're going to bring back the Bronco. Okay, well then Chevy just had to bring back the Blazer, before them, and what a huge
failed at it.
disappointment that was as well. Yeah, exactly. So they've all got to compete with each other in one way or another, and everybody's wanting to move towards everything being electric anyways. I just think it's going to be a huge disappointment in the long run. We're all going to love V8s at the end of the day.
So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. I know we kind of went a little off course away from monster trucks, even though this is solely a monster truck show. The reason why I bring that up is because, guys, finding a big block, even going to a junkyard nowadays, is pretty difficult to do, because big blocks only ran up until, I believe, the early 90s, maybe really early 2000s before, if you want a really good V8 for any kind of a project, you're looking at LSs. But a lot of the things that a lot of people ask us in the monster truck industry is, what kind of engine does it have? And most of the time we respond with, oh, it's a big block Chevy. It's not actually a big block Chevy. See, it's based off of a big block Chevy platform. And what we mean by that is basically someone somewhere took the schematics of a big block and replicated it and basically made a much better, stronger, more solid version of it. So yes, it is based off of a big block Chevy, but at the end of the day, it's a Merlin, it's a dart block, it's this, and literally nothing in a monster truck drivetrain is something you could pull from a junkyard car like you could back in the 80s and early 90s. But I remember hearing Mike Wine in a podcast saying that he would go out after a show looking at some of the jump crush cars, trying to find cylinder heads or engines out of some Lincolns or Mercuries, because he ran a big block Ford, and those engines were everywhere back then. Nowadays you can't find them anywhere. So with that being said, guys, is the monster truck industry looking to eventually possibly go electric?
I mean, we've already seen one electric monster truck, and that's Bigfoot, when they made Bigfoot 20. And that truck was very popular after it came out. Now, it's not straight up competed, but it's a very torquey, very quick truck off to the start. Now, it might not be able to hit 90 mile an hour or whatever the speed world record is now set by Bryce Kenny, but I wouldn't be surprised if they still try to come back and present something like that. Yes, it would be dumb for trucks to start a racing league in electric powered monster trucks, but no, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. Just trying to keep it, like I said, with government regulations, the way politics, where the world is at right now. No, I'm not surprised, which is why we're all about supporting Zoomies and just regular collectors on monster trucks and getting away.
I fixed that graphic so I can bring it up now.
Come on,
please,
now. Come on,
please give us your honest opinion. What you guys think about this as a possible shirt idea? Stay loud for the crowd, because when it comes to monster trucks, guys, you don't want to hear a monster truck sound regulated and whispered to where you could barely hear it. No, you want to be loud and proud about it, guys.
When we went to go see Jurassic Attack and Kamikaze and those other trucks that are at that show last weekend, man, it was unreal to listen to trucks with Zoomies once again. One thing I noticed in particular was Team Throttle monster trucks. Their Zoomies, they just point straight up at the crowds. So being up and like closer towards the top of those grandstands, like it was even so loud, it's like I almost had to cover my ears. I forgot how gosh damn loud Zoomie monster trucks are, but especially that Team Throttle monster cam. Those engines are some loud suckers.
Like being in a tunnel for a Monster Jam show, we've all been there. Your heart's pounding, and it's one thing. Like you got all the what is it? It was 16, then I got to 14. I think we're down to 12 now for a stadium event. So having all those trucks around at the same time, your heart's pounding. You go to a small arena show that is an independent show, and it's 5 or 6 trucks, and every single one of them have Zoomies. Oh my gosh. It towers over a Monster Jam event, 100%.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. If it's too loud for you, go put on some damn earmuffs.
Yeah, exactly. They sell them at the grandstand. They're for kids, but it's okay. I won't say anything.
You can put them on, you big sissy.
It's okay. You can get yourself a Frosty Cone while you're there.
No, I'll be completely honest with you. The fact that I was around BJ's barefoot when I was a kid and being in the trailer while he's loading that big ass Hemi is probably why I can't hear with the shit nowadays.
I think he's just using that as excuse, Harley. Just saying.
Yeah.
I think he.
What? I
think he left some hair in his ears. Well, gosh dang it, guys. I mean, so I got a question for everybody watching. So what is the next thing that you guys want to see from us? Because we have some ideas, but room between the three of us of what we want to bring to the table for you guys. But we want to know, what else do you guys want to see? You know, we don't want to be like just like every other podcast or talk show that you see when it comes to the monster truck industry. We want to branch out. We don't want to bring just guests on. We want to do stuff to interact with you guys and let you guys also be involved with what we do here on the Throttle Out Show. So please let us know anytime, whether it's a comment in the YouTube video, whether you guys DM us a message. Every single one of us is part of that page, and we listen. We always like to hear back from you guys. Speaking of which, kind of just like a little fun fact, the gentleman who won our giveaway, MT Productions Worldwide, I have not stopped talking to this kid because he is a diehard old school monster truck fan, such as myself. So it is almost like every day me and him are just going back and forth, just talking about old school stuff. And I'm going to have to keep him posted because when I go to the Hall of Fame this weekend, he's just going to be blowing my phone up wondering what is there. So
he seems like a really cool person. I'm glad he won our giveaway. It just proves that our giveaways are legit. When we say we're going to do something, y'all, we're going to do it, baby. So you better believe it. And the other thing I wanted to say, Austin said we don't want to be like any other podcast or talk show. First of all, this is not a podcast. For people calling it a podcast, yes, I get offended by that. I'm going to make a t-shirt for us that says, this is not a podcast.
Then what is
I thought
it?
you were going to
What is
go
it?
ahead.
Then?
It's the best damn talk show in the world is what it is.
I thought he was going to say we're going to make a shirt for him that just says, I'm not offended. It's like, well.
No, back in the early 2000s, there was a show called The Best Damn Sports Show, period. So we're just going to call this The Best Damn Talk Show, period. That's what we're going to call this.
So I want to talk about this latest comment that Mr. Joseph Rodriguez just posted. So it says here, I've always wanted to see an old school monster truck tour. What's your thoughts on that? Hell yeah. So here's the problem though, because when it comes down to what is expected from a monster truck show nowadays, a lot of people don't like to invest or know about the history of where it came from. Like I said, go to the museum, watch some YouTube videos, check it out. I highly recommend it. So I personally, I would love to see an actual old school monster truck tour. If not just a tour by itself, an independent series, actually kind of intertwine it with a current tour that they run. So you have both old school and new school trucks kind of like coinciding, not competing against each other. That's just unfair. Good Lord, can we imagine Mr. Jeffrey Fielding, an old red truck, running up against like Zane Ratu Stinger? That is just unfair.
No, but I know that old bastard would do it though.
Damn straight he would. But if we were to actually take some of these guys, because there are a lot of guys that have actually been building and running these old school monster trucks. You have the earthquake truck. We have what we just talked about, Mr. Fielding and the old red truck. You got BFT, the brown dent side Ford that's came out to the Bigfoot open house. But there's guys that want to get in the monster truck industry, and honestly, building an old school truck is, I don't want to say cheap, but is a lot more affordable than going through and building a full tube frame truck. However, since there's no sanctioning body to run it, solely because, safety features that wasn't in trucks back then, people don't really want to take the responsibility to try and run it. I personally would love to see if there was a tour, instead of running a bunch of, motocross, motorcycles or quads, or focusing on like some of these side acts that mainly they're just an excuse for everybody to go to the bathroom, get a drink, whatever. I would honestly love to see, this is just my dream tour, I'd like to see someone bring tough trucks back, because I'm sorry, Four-Wheel Jamboree, I still stand by you. You screwed up. I had to catch myself.
Yes.
Didn't want to drop the F-bomb. I'm so sorry. You screwed up by getting rid of tough trucks and monsters. I would love to see tough trucks, because that's also a great way to get someone involved in the industry to driving. Harley's dad got to do it for a very long time, so I still think that's a great way to possibly get involved in not only just going to the events, but also kind of learning yourself as building yourself up as a driver. Getting into an old school monster truck. Those guys will tell you like they were rough back then, but just there's something about wanting to just crush a car with a truck that weighs as much as 2 elephants. It just sounds so satisfying. Not to mention with all the cars that we know nowadays that just piss you off. Yes, like the Prius, like all these other hybrid vehicles. I would love to take a giant truck and just run them over. But again, people don't really do that. and everything
No, but
nowadays.
you know
Like,
something? That's what we should do as a show. Is we should put on our own damn monster truck tour, and these guys can come out and, like you said, like the halftime, the intermission, the bathroom break stuff, and they can crush Priuses and Teslas that get thrown in the junkyard. You know, the cars that are really good for the environment, that their batteries rot out. You know, a quarter mile of natural earth. Yeah, we should get those vehicles, take them to the shows, and crush them with old school monster trucks.
I think we should have Austin Tweedy up there in the stands as like Julius Caesar. They just have like a car that comes out there, and he just sits there and just does.
Crush it! Yeah, that'll be me.
But no, I absolutely agree. I would love to see old school monster trucks kind of come back to the forefront because it gives people an opportunity to try to get someone into the monster truck industry from tough trucks or an old school truck. And then if some way, somehow you're able to afford a full-blown race truck or get a ride with a full-blown race truck team, there's an ability to do it. But unfortunately, that just doesn't exist. Even though I'd love to see it, it's just not there.
No, it's not. But I'm sure we can make something happen, right?
Yeah. So when we drop the merch store,
what you could be potentially supporting.
Possibly a tour, or maybe we'll build a truck, or maybe it might go towards these two Yahoos' wedding. Who knows? But
right.
We'll build a truck for our wedding. There we go.
Can I drive
Yes.
it? You guys could be in the back.
Of course, yes.
I'm just saying, if people start pitching in for us to drive a truck, okay, if you donate money to us building a truck, you can drive the truck, okay? Well, that'll be like a part of our little deal. Is if you donate money, we build a truck, you can drive the truck, okay? Come down on a Saturday, have a whole day with the truck. That's fine.
Now this is live, so when this actually happens, people are gonna go back to this clip and be like, "You told me I could drive it. I donated $1 to you."
Okay,
Hey,
all right. We'll have to be a bigger purse than $1, but we'll figure something out. Okay. I haven't set out the blueprint just yet. Okay?
Oh my gosh. So I'm sure we already brought this up already, but thank you again, guys, for dropping us to over 500 followers.
Yes.
Sorry, I want to say subscribers for
you.
some reason. On Instagram, holy crap, we are at just shy of 540 followers. Harley, I believe that's 180 away from a certain challenge or some kind of a deal that we did with a certain number.
160 away.
160. I'm bad at math, guys. I'm sorry.
He still has a lot more hair to grow on top of his head for that to happen, so we got time.
Is it coming back, buddy? Is it coming back?
Yes, it's coming back, you jerk. And I don't know what y'all are talking about. There's no deal in place.
Hey,
Yeah.
Harley, real quick, I'm going to jump on the Monster Jams web's superstore and look for Mohawk Warrior Crew shirts. What size is your?
I'm going to see. Yeah, I have a Mohawk Warrior Crew shirt. I'm going to see.
Even better. Okay. See? It all works out, Tweety.
This is a cruel
I'm
shit.
sure you still have one of your black crew shirts. You can wear that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Morgan asked, will there be monster trucks at the wedding? There was one at mine. So
So that means there has to be one at ours.
yes.
Hey, there was a movie back in the 80s. I think it was maybe Police Academy, maybe, or something like that. And a monster truck was driving off. Like people like back in the day would drive off in like nice cars. They would tie little beer cans or soda cans to the back of the car. Well, in this movie, they had a monster truck driving off, and they tied 55-gallon oil drums to the back of the car, or the back of the monster truck. So maybe we can do something similar. Maybe we can bring that back, Harley.
Well, we got to figure out where we're having this wedding. First of all, there's going to be monster truck dragons behind it.
Speaking of old school, there was a truck in Texas that was recently restored and is very historical. I'm sure if you guys were to get a hold of them, it'd be really badass to see at your guys' wedding, and that's Texas Toy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think I'm friends with that guy on Facebook. I've not talked to him yet, though.
You're a Tweety. You're friends with everybody. Oh, man. Well,
what else, y'all? Is that about it?
We've been talking this is actually one of those episodes, guys, where we had no idea what we're going into, and we've already been talking for an hour. So, all right. Well, Tweety, you got anything else, buddy?
I honestly think that's about it. We're going to be covering some shows this weekend. There's a couple Monster Jam shows going on, a couple other independent shows we're going to be looking at covering on Sunday. And like I mentioned earlier, we were supposed to have a guest tonight, but he will be joining us again possibly next week or just sometime in the future. He'll be back. Harley, you got anything before we hop off here?
I think we about covered everything that's gone on between Sunday and today, or last Sunday and today.
Well, for everybody that's tuned in tonight, first of all, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts for supporting the Throttle Out Show. We are working on a badass merch line for y'all to support us on. Every dime goes right back into the show. We don't take a penny from this. So thank y'all. Remember, when in doubt, throttle out. Peace out. Good night, everybody.
Good
Love you
night,
guys.
everybody.